right. Well, approximately 42 million people are expected to hit the road this 4th of July weekend. Now, that's according to AAA. Now, while vacationing is always a great time, vacationing with kids is sometimes stressful and expensive. But it doesn't have to be, right? So Alana Gallo is a mom of 4 who is currently spending the year traveling with her whole family. She's also the founder of Play, Learn, Thrive, where she works with families to build independence and confidence through play.
Yeah, Alana joining us now with some tips on how to make those long road trips a little bit more bearable when you have kids. Thanks so much for being with us. So I think you have just such an incredible story, and we want to get to that. Let's talk about some of the tips, though, because I know parents want to know that. Screen time can be a useful tool in the car, but you say parents can have a screen-free road trip. How do they do that?
I think the biggest thing is, number one, to not start. So, right, if you have younger kids and you haven't really introduced screen time during road trips or while the kids are waiting for things, it's a lot easier to not do it, right? Because if they don't know, they don't know. So kind of keep them in the dust, right? And just don't let them start, and then it really won't be a problem. If they have already started doing that, I think the biggest tip would be to have an age-appropriate discussion with them about what you're going to try. Say we want to limit screen time, and when we're taking road trips, these are some of the things we can do. And maybe you have pack up lots of snacks, bring some coloring stuff, some books. Plan to make stops if you have to, try to map out if there's a playground or something that would be attractive for the kids, right. Just to give them a break. And just really, at the end of the day, I think is trusting them that they can do without the screens.
Okay, so you highlighted some of the ways to keep them entertained. Food, which is probably my favorite,
yeah.
Planning out a map, but whether it's an hour or even more, how do you keep kids entertained the whole journey? Because I feel like there's only so many times you can sing the wheels on the bus go round and round.
I hear you. So I think, again, like the biggest mindset shift is really like, we don't have to feel like we have to keep our kids entertained all the time. Our kids are very, very capable of entertaining themselves. So, my children have never had an iPad in the car or on these longer road trips, and they will come up with things to do. They will play I Spy. They will sing music. They will, sometimes they'll argue. Sometimes they will sing songs. But really, they really are so much more capable than what we give them credit for. And I think if we trust that they can entertain themselves, they will oftentimes surprise us. So, shifting that mindset and feeling free to pack some toys, pack some little things for them to do. And if they get bored, say, okay, great, take a nap, look out the window. Like what did we used to do when we were going on long road trips, and
that's great.
We survived.
We didn't have screens.
No, and that's what I was just thinking about. I was like, what did we do? That's exactly what we did.
Slug bug.
We found other things to do.
That's my car. We play that one.
That's my car. Exactly. Punch buggy, right? All those things. And, we just kept ourselves entertained, and it was fine. And, it's not going to be perfect, especially if they're used to really kind of having that overstimulation all the time. But, you do what you got to do. And if you really are committed to doing it, then I promise the kids will really rise to the occasion.
So let me ask you something. We've talked a lot about gas prices. They are so high, and families are spending so much money to travel in the first place. What are some of the ways to keep those costs down?
So for us, we're mostly flying, but when we do road trips or when we go anywhere, we really try to focus on keeping things local. So traveling during off season, finding places that are local, where the local people are going, where are the local people eating? So, getting groceries and kind of trying to cook at home. So maybe you get an Airbnb or something like that instead of staying at a hotel. And cooking at home obviously is going to be easier.
Sure.
Sort of depending on, right, like how you look at it with kids. So that's going to help keep prices down, and not feeling like you have to do every single activity. I think we feel like, we are on vacation, we want to do all the things, all the tourist things, but those cost often a lot of money. So usually you can find some really cool activities for kids in the area that is more locally run. So like local run camps or local run art classes or dance classes. Usually there's Facebook groups, you can just put in Facebook or Google like expat groups for this location and see what you can find. Because if you're out of the country, obviously, if you're local, same thing, look for local moms groups. and ask, what is there for kids to do, and try to just find something that's not like this tourist stuff, because I think that's typically like very, it's going to be the more costly things to do.
Of course.
Okay, before we let you go, we definitely want to hear about your adventures. You have 4 children, so you're speaking from experience. Tell us where you are, where you're headed, and how you do it.
Oh gosh, how I do it? I don't do it. No, so we have 4 kids, 7, 5, 3, and 1, and we sold our home and pretty much everything, and we are world schooling and totally nomadic, living the dream. And we are currently in the Dominican Republic at a school here for self-directed learning. So the children are loving that. They're spending 12 hours a day outside, which is amazing. And then from there, we are going to be going to Greece for August. So we're excited, and then over to Portugal. So we're just bopping around the world. Every couple months, we'll be moving to a new place.
If you have room for 2 more kids, we would.
I do. Come on. Hey, what's one more? I always say after you have 3 kids, like 4, 5, 6, it's really nothing different.
So let me ask you one last thing. Do you have advice for parents when siblings start to fight? Because that can be very stressful for everybody. And, it's something that, what do you do? I mean, you've got 4 kids, and if they're not on the plane, they're in the car.
Yeah, I think the thing with siblings are sort of, again, this mindset, like they're going to argue, they're going to push each other's buttons. That's kind of what we're built to do, right? Like we're testing out our relationships and our friendships and how we form relationships with our siblings. So they're kind of like our first defense, if you will. And I think setting them up for success, so giving them some tools to help deal with arguments and things within each other. So sort of putting it back onto them, like, okay, I heard this happen. How do you think you can handle it? And really trying to give them ownership of that relationship versus always being the middleman. And obviously that's going to start, well before you start traveling. But when you're traveling, also just expecting things to be pretty similar to at home. So your kids are going to bicker. They're going to get into things. They're going to do things you don't want them to do. As much as we parents would love to go on like a vacation, it's really not a vacation. It's just traveling to another location with our children. So we're really just parenting in another space. And I think if we can kind of just accept that and like be along for the ride and not have these expectations of perfection, which is, sometimes we see that and we think, oh, all these people are traveling and look, it's beautiful and it's perfect and their perfect vacation. And that's not real life, right? And so just knowing that real life is going on behind the scenes, and your kids are going to argue, and you're going to sort of, getting them outside as much as possible, keeping them active,
So important, right?
Trying to stay away from screens and TVs and things like that are just going to kind of get them in their own head. Yeah. I think those are our biggest tips. I always find my kids are so much happier when they are just outdoors as much as possible and as physically active as possible.
Okay. I love the world schooling, that's for sure. That's really neat. Congratulations to what you're doing.
Thank you.
Well, Lana, thank you so much for joining us, and great adventures. We want to follow you really quickly. Where can people find you and find your tips?
Yes, so I have 2 Instagram accounts, at Play, Learn, Thrive Kids and at Growing Up Gallo, which is going to be our more travel-oriented Instagram. And then we will be soon launching a YouTube channel called Growing Up Gallo, which follows us all around the world.
All
That's
right.
great.
We'll be looking out for it. Thank you.
All right, stay safe.
Thank you so much.